I was fired with no savings, no plan, and no tech skills. In a single moment, everything I'd worked for seemed to vanish. The security I'd taken for granted was gone, replaced by a cold, gnawing uncertainty. But within weeks, AI helped me go from zero to over $5,000 a month. It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. My life took a turn I never could have predicted, all because I was willing to try something new. It sounds like a headline from a cheesy internet ad, I know, but it's my reality. I was as skeptical as anyone would be, but desperation has a way of opening your mind to possibilities you'd normally dismiss. The day it happened felt like any other Tuesday, until my boss called me in and let me go. There was no warning, no hint that my world was about to be turned upside down. The words "we're letting you go" hung in the air, thick and suffocating. I could barely process what was happening as I sat there, numb and stunned. I packed my things, a mug, a photo of my dog, a few wilted plants, reminders of a life I thought was stable. Each item felt heavier than it should, as if it carried the weight of my shattered routine. My final paycheck was small, the severance non-existent. The reality of my financial situation hit me like a punch to the gut. Outside, the city moved on, oblivious to my crisis. People hurried past, lost in their own worlds, while mine was crumbling. I sat in my car, panic rising. Less than $1,000 to my name, rent due, bills piling up, and no backup plan. I felt invisible, like my problems didn't matter to anyone but me. That night, I stared at the ceiling, haunted by every mistake and missed opportunity. Sleep was impossible. My mind raced with regrets and fears about the future. The fear was a physical knot in my stomach. It twisted tighter with every passing hour, making it hard to breathe, let alone think clearly. The traditional path, polishing my resume, applying for jobs, felt hopeless. I sent out applications, but the silence was deafening. The job market was brutal, and I felt invisible. I needed something different. I needed a miracle. I knew I couldn't keep doing the same thing and expect a different result. I realized I was at a crossroads: give in to despair or find a new way forward. It was a moment of truth, and I knew I had to choose hope, no matter how faint it seemed. The next morning, I made a decision. I would not let this be the end of my story. I owed it to myself to fight for a better future, even if I had no idea where to start. I had no idea what to do next, but I was determined to try anything. I promised myself I'd keep moving, no matter how small the steps. I started searching for answers, desperate for a lifeline. I scoured forums, watched videos, and read every article I could find about making money online. That's when I stumbled onto something that would change everything. A single story caught my eye, and for the first time in days, I felt a flicker of hope. I found a story about someone using AI to rebuild their life. They started with nothing, just like me, and managed to turn things around. It sounded crazy, but I was out of options. I figured if it worked for them, maybe, just maybe, it could work for me too. I decided to dive in, no matter how impossible it seemed. I was ready to learn, to fail, and to try again until something clicked. Sometimes rock bottom is the best place to start over. When you have nothing left to lose, you find a kind of freedom, and a drive you never knew you had. And that's exactly what I did. I took my first uncertain steps into a new world, determined to build something better from the ashes of my old life. The first week was a blur of rejection emails and instant noodles. Every day felt the same, waking up with a pit in my stomach, dreading the next round of bad news. I barely left my apartment, surviving on cheap meals and hope that tomorrow would be different. Every job listing demanded years of experience and skills I didn't have. The requirements felt like an impossible wall, and each new posting seemed more out of reach than the last. My confidence shattered. I felt obsolete. It was as if the world had moved on without me and I was left behind, invisible and unwanted. Friends tried to help, but their advice felt empty. They meant well, but none of them truly understood the weight pressing down on me. The breaking point came with a final demand notice for my car payment. The red letters screamed at me, a harsh reminder that time was running out. I had $247.18 left. Disaster was imminent. Every dollar felt precious, and every expense felt like a threat. I broke down, sobbing on my living room floor. The weight of failure and fear finally crashed over me, and I let it all out. But after the tears, a strange calm set in. With nothing left to lose, I became fearless. It was as if hitting rock bottom had stripped away my fear of failing again. I needed a radical plan, something different, something bold, anything to break the cycle. I started searching, how to make money online fast, side hustles for beginners. I scrolled through endless articles, desperate for a lifeline. That's when I found a blog post. I built a business with AI, and I'm not a tech genius. The headline stopped me in my tracks. The author described using AI tools to create content, design products, and build an entire business from scratch. They even wrote code, no experience required. It was a world I'd never considered, suddenly opening up before me. It sounded like science fiction, but it sparked a flicker of hope. Maybe, just maybe, there was a way out. Maybe AI wasn't just about robots taking jobs. Maybe it could help me create one. The idea was both terrifying and exhilarating. I decided to give it a shot. I had no idea where to start, but I knew I had to try. I had nothing left to lose and everything to gain. For the first time in a long while, I felt a spark of determination. That night, I made a promise to myself. I would learn everything I could about AI. I would not let my lack of experience hold me back. I would use it to build something from scratch. No matter how small, I would create something of my own. I would not let fear or doubt stop me. I was done letting uncertainty control my life. The journey ahead was uncertain, but for the first time in weeks, I felt a glimmer of hope. The darkness had lifted just a little. I was ready to fight for my future. I knew it wouldn't be easy, but I was willing to work for it. The only way to go was up. I was standing at the bottom, but I could see the first step. And I was determined to climb, no matter how steep the path ahead. My journey into AI didn't start with coding boot camps or expensive software. It started with simple, accessible tools: ChatGPT, Canva, Pictory, Copy.ai. These became my lifeline, my mentors, my new colleagues. AI wasn't here to replace me. It was here to amplify my creativity. It could brainstorm ideas, generate business plans, and turn scripts into videos in minutes. I dedicated a few hours each day to experimenting with these tools. No exams, no grades, just pure discovery. For the first time since being laid off, I felt excited again. Each small win, a graphic, a video, a well-written paragraph, rebuilt my confidence. I wasn't obsolete. I was adaptable. AI didn't solve everything overnight, but it leveled the playing field. I could compete, create, and thrive, even after being cast aside. This was my new beginning. My first real AI breakthrough was with ChatGPT. I asked it, "I have no money and no tech skills. Give me 10 business ideas I can start online this week." It delivered detailed, actionable ideas. No fluff, just real options. I picked one selling digital planners on Etsy. ChatGPT mapped out every step, from market research to marketing. It even role-played job interviews to help me rebuild my confidence. I used it to rewrite my resume, craft cover letters, and practice communication. ChatGPT turned my scattered thoughts into polished, professional text. It was my secret weapon, always ready, always helpful. With ChatGPT, I finally had a plan. My next challenge, designing digital products for Etsy, seemed impossible. I can barely draw a stick figure, but Canva's AI changed everything. I used magic design to create beautiful planners with simple prompts. In minutes, I had stylish templates ready to customize. I built a collection: daily planners, meal trackers, habit logs, all with AI's help. ChatGPT provided motivational quotes. Canva's AI generated graphics. I set up my Etsy shop, wrote descriptions with ChatGPT, and hit publish. The next morning, I made my first sale. It was only $4.99, but it proved this crazy idea could work. That first sale was more valuable than any paycheck. It was proof of my independence. I was building something real from nothing, and it felt incredible. With Etsy running, I looked for new income streams. YouTube was tempting, but I dreaded being on camera. Pictory AI let me create faceless videos from scripts. My workflow: ChatGPT wrote scripts. Pictory turned them into videos with stock footage and music. I uploaded daily, even when views were low. 3 weeks in, one video took off, thousands of views overnight. Soon I qualified for YouTube's partner program. My channel was monetized. I was earning ad revenue from videos made entirely with AI. No fancy equipment, no on-camera presence, just creativity and smart tools. I built a channel from scratch, and it started to pay off. AI made it possible for anyone, even me, to succeed on YouTube. My confidence soared. I was building multiple streams of income, one tool at a time. Etsy and YouTube were growing, but I needed steady income. Freelancing was the answer, but I felt like an imposter. Copy.ai changed that. It generated marketing copy, social posts, and more. I launched a Fiverr gig. I'll write 5 AI-powered social media posts for $10. My first client was a bakery. Copy.ai gave me dozens of caption ideas. I polished and delivered the best. The client loved it. 5 stars, more orders followed. I added gigs for blog intros, product descriptions, and email subject lines. As reviews grew, so did my prices. Within 6 weeks, I was earning $1,500 a month from Fiverr alone. It wasn't glamorous, but it was real money. AI let me deliver high-quality work, fast. I finally had financial stability, and it all started with a single gig. Juggling Etsy, YouTube, and freelancing was overwhelming. I needed an assistant, but couldn't afford one, so I built one with ChatGPT. Each morning, I'd list my goals and ask ChatGPT to organize them into a prioritized schedule. It broke down tasks, estimated times, and created a roadmap for my day. If I got stuck, I'd ask for blog titles or outlines to break writer's block. This system eliminated decision fatigue and kept me focused. Outsourcing planning to AI freed up my energy for creative work. I felt less stressed, more productive, and in control. My AI assistant was the ultimate productivity hack. It kept me moving forward every single day, and it cost me nothing. It's been over a year since I was fired, and my life is unrecognizable. What once felt like a setback has turned into the best thing that ever happened to me. I wake up every day with a sense of possibility, not dread. My income from Etsy, YouTube, and freelancing now exceeds $5,000 a month. I never imagined I could earn this much working for myself, from the comfort of my own home, doing work that actually excites me. I have savings, no debt, and most importantly, freedom. I can take a walk in the middle of the day, spend time with family, or just enjoy a slow morning without rushing out the door. The biggest change isn't financial, it's ownership. I finally feel in control of my time, my energy, and my future. Everything I build is mine. Digital products, videos, content. Every project I finish adds to something I own, not just a company's bottom line. My income isn't capped by a salary band. It grows with my effort and creativity. The more I learn and experiment, the more opportunities I discover. No more office politics or corporate ladders. I don't have to wait for someone else's approval to move forward or try something new. If I had to start over, I'd master one AI tool at a time, launch a Fiverr gig, and build a passive income asset. There are so many ways to get started, even if you have no experience. Active income for now, passive income for the future. That's the key. It's about building something that pays you back, even when you're not working. You don't need a fancy degree or a pile of cash. All you need is a willingness to start and the courage to keep going when it gets tough. Just a Wi-Fi connection, a willingness to learn, and the drive to execute. The tools are here. The opportunity is real. The only thing missing is your decision to begin. The only question is, will you take the leap? Your future is waiting and it's yours to create.